What's up, everyone? I'm Liz Hunt.
I'm Chelsea Poppens.
And this is the Agency Rocket Show, where we talk about the chaos of running our very own creative agency.
Oh my God, we nailed it! We nailed it.
Today we're going to talk about more website stuff, but to give it more detail, Chelsea, what are we talking about?
So we are in our website series. Our last episode, we talked about our discovery meeting and our kickoff meeting. And today we are going to talk about our interactive mood board plus the wireframe phase. This is kind of where it gets a little bit more fun. Not a blast, not a 10 out of 10, but
we get to look at pictures. Like we get to look at pretty things.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what an interactive mood board is and how we kind of start that, Liz, can you give us?
Well, I think we made that up. I think we literally made up that term.
Interactive mood board?
I think so. Like it's
pioneered that jargon.
Yes. And I think it's just been our term for so long. I honestly don't know where it came from, but I think we literally made that up.
I think it's a good language.
So it's the idea of we put a mood board of like clients' favorite concepts together. And the interactive part is that we do it together with a client. So
collaborative effort.
Interactive mood board. Or I don't know, it's IE. IE is for example, right? No, EG. I can't remember. IE is such as. If I'm typing this out, I will remember it. Okay. Anyway, Anyway, so can you hear the lawnmower?
A little bit. It sounds like we're slightly in a vacuum, just like a little.
Mm-hmm. He is right outside my office.
Rude. So incredibly rude.
Keeping the lawn very nice, so I can't really complain.
Shout out Green Pastures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. We branded them. I'm so happy. He is also.
He just wanted a shout out in our
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
It's not that bad. It's going away a little bit.
Well, yeah, he's going away a little bit.
Will he be back?
Okay. I don't know how he does the lines. There he is. There he is. Great. It's great. Just right as John Deere. Okay.
The big JD.
Oh, God. I saw a thing today, just like an Instagram post. There was zero context, but all it said was that I'm pretty sure that if I wanted to, I could make JD Vance cry.
Zero context.
Yeah, no context. It just said, I think I can make him cry.
I don't think I could make anyone really cry. Maybe I could. I have.
No, I was like, I feel like.
What are you talking about?
I think I would just be laughing the whole. I don't think I could do anything serious.
I've accidentally made people cry.
Yeah.
Or
I've probably
not in the good way. I'm sure there's been
brought anyone tears of joy. You've brought people tears of sorrow and pain.
There's an instance that comes to mind that I will not say any names where it was just hard truths. Some people can't have hard truths, like real.
You're talking about me, aren't you?
No, someone else, part of our past organization. Yep. Where you're just trying to find a solution to something and they can't handle real talk without breaking down. That was one. And then as far as guys go, I don't know if I've really made any guys cry besides Ryan. He's cried in a nice way. He would be the one I've cried in the night. Yeah.
I thought before you said that, I thought you meant in a bad way.
Yeah, really make him cry every day. No. Ryan's a big softie, so if you say nice things and you have a nice conversation, he might break out a little bit in tears because he's a lover. He's a big grumpy old man lover.
Yes. Okay, that's I think how all Enneagram 8s are. they're super like rough on the outside and gruff on the outside, but on the inside, they're actually big old teddy bears. That's how all of my friends who are Enneagram 8s, they're all like that. They cry super easy.
I wouldn't say super easy, but it tracks.
Well, okay, but I guess like easier than I do, you know?
Yeah.
Which I guess is actually not easy at all. So
before getting pregnant, I would like never cry. And I was like, is there something wrong with me? And then I got pregnant and I was just like, I don't know. I've had I told you this and I know it's being recorded, whatever.
Yeah.
I had a 2-hour drive to Omaha for a work thing. And then I was just hormonal a little bit all day. And then I had a 2-hour drive back and I was just still hormonal. And then I started eating dinner and started crying while eating my pasta. Ryan looks so scared because, you know, like when someone doesn't cry much and he was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm mad. Maybe I'm frustrated. He goes, was it a long day? And I was like, probably.
Was it a long day?
I'm like, yeah, probably. I drove a lot.
7-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly when I told you about that, I was comparing myself to. I'm like, I sound like Landry when Landry's just like, I was an absolute wreck. I'm like, why? And she goes, I don't know. I don't even know why. I'm like, same, girl. Same.
Same, girl. Yes.
Absolutely.
All the feels. All the feels. Pregnancy jacks up your hormones. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, I suppose maybe we should be positive about it and say it just
blesses us with more hormones. I feel like Ryan tries to mirror my hormonal flux, like
see that,
or my symptoms. Like
he just matches you one for one.
He tries to, because I'll be like, oh yeah, my acid reflux is really bad today, and then his form of relating or like making me feel better is to like I see it as him one-upping me. And he's like, I've kind of been pretty like messed up too today. And I'll be like, are you trying to one-up me? And he goes, oh no, I'm just like trying to sympathize with you, that I know what you're going through. And I was like, that does not help me at all. Like, like you telling me you bitching right now does not make me feel better. But that's his like, he's like, I'm just trying to meet you where you're at. And I'm like, don't do it.
You do not understand what I'm going through right now.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Ryan and I have been passive aggressively, lovingly going at each other occasionally, where it's just like, you're really pissing me off today. I could just, you know,
we've just squeeze you to death.
We've had a couple of those days where we just smile at each other and we're like, it's really tough to love you today. You're being kind of a brat. But we work through it.
Every day's a new day, right?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Pregnancy, relationships, marriage.
Yes, all of it.
Well, I think the mower's done.
Oh, yeah. I think it's further away now.
All right. So maybe Keaton wants to clip this. Maybe he doesn't. But
I don't know. I think it's all very relatable, good content. So.
Okay. So after our discovery meeting, we have our interactive website, mood board-esque conversation with the client, where Liz proactively gathers a bunch of websites for the client that we did not design. So the criticism is absolutely welcome of what likes and dislikes. And so the client feels free to be honest and open about what they do and don't like. And like Liz has said before, in interactive mood board, she deliberately puts options in there that the client will hate. And it's not like an industry bias that everybody else in the construction industry has this type of website. So just like the interactive mood board, it's just with websites, and it just has a different layer to it because websites are so layered.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, I've done it differently a couple different times, but we primarily use a tool called Milanote. I think we can use like a place like Canva for this too, where you can show on one screen a bunch of different screenshots or links out to different websites that you've gathered. And like Chelsea said, some of them will be of competitors' websites. Some of them will be of like completely opposite industries, but ones that just have really cool, interesting websites. Some will be of just like random types of sites that I think I want the client to see. And I just get a different selection of sites to show the client, because there have been so many times that clients have surprised me with what they are actually interested in and their design style and design preferences. And so it's always really fun actually to get to see like what the client finds appealing. And so I like to do this in order to give them a wide variety of options to really see and just kind of have a good solid understanding of what they like. And so in this interactive mood board, we show them all these different types of websites, and I purposely do not show them only sites that are in their industry. I think that is very important and crucial because I'm trying to help them get up out of their like tunnel vision. I want them to think about not just what their competitors are doing. I want them to think about how can we make them unique to who they are and not just look like everybody else in their industry. And so I want them to think about what are the actual options for really being creative and what's appealing to me and not just what is going to fit the mold of the industry. And I think that that's something that is unique to who DayCloud is and something that I push very, very hard for in our firm. We are mining for the gold that is inside of every client. We are mining for that unique piece, that unique element that is true and unique to each one of our clients. We are mining for those little gold nuggets that make each individual organization and human special for who they are. And so that's why we are a boutique agency, is that we are looking for those special things. We don't build cookie cutter brands. We build bespoke brands that are custom to each organization, helping people define who they are. That's part of why that process is so important and why I don't allow them to only look at competitors. Anyway, so that's what we do. And we go through that piece with each one of those clients. We go through all the different websites and we talk about what they like, what they don't like. We talk about even some messaging maybe, because when you're looking at websites, there's obviously going to be messaging and fonts and even colors and layouts and functionality and all kinds of different things. There's quite a bit more to it than when you're looking at like a visual identity, a logo identity. And so we talk about a lot of different things. And so this can take quite a bit longer than the logo interactive mood board.
Plus, you're like websites, there's so many things that go into building a website, from the menu, whether it's like straight off the bat, like a hamburger menu, or like how many things need to be in the navigation, the visual appeal of that, plus the different features of like some people really want a carousel in there, which like, sure, if that's what they want. Some people really like video in the hero or an image in the hero, or some people like a cleaner look than others. And that's like where you can really nail down, like Liz said, the visuals of that. And we're bringing the client along that creative process. Yes, we are the experts, but at the same time, we want this to be a journey and an adventure. We pride ourselves on being a VIP branding agency and making sure our customers leave with a 10 out of 10, feeling a part of every step of the way. And that we were very transparent. We're very communicative on everything, and that they feel heard at the end of the day. A lot of times you'll go to a business and they'll be like, we know what we're doing, and they won't listen to anything that you say. We are not that. We will hear you. We will hear what you like creatively, and we'll adjust accordingly in our next step of our phases.
100%. And that's why this is such a collaborative process. It's because that's what we do. So as part of that too, that makes the meeting long. Just a heads up. So it can be a little bit longer because you do talk through a lot of details. You do talk through things the clients like and all these features like what Chelsea is talking about. So that is kind of the interactive mood board. That's what we do with it. That's how we do it. That's how we run it. Typically, that meeting, especially if it's a website, is the only thing you do for that meeting, just because it does take a little bit longer. So I don't typically like to schedule anything else other than doing that interactive mood board for that meeting. That's what I would say for that interactive mood board. I think it's a great, great tool to have, because then you're not designing something that a client can right away tell you, like, I don't like this, I don't like that, when you could have gotten all of that information up front just by having this initial meeting with them about what they like and don't like. You could have gotten all of that first and then been able to design within the parameters of their preferences. I think that's why we've just learned over the years that this is a really, really great meeting to have to allow you to really hit the mark from the get-go. Yeah. So then after that, what do we do, Chelsea?
After that, we have our wireframe phase. And so you can think of the wireframe as our blueprint, as the exoskeleton of our website, because it has none of the frills, none of the creative design, none of those visuals. We do that intentionally to kind of give our clients a focal point and not to be distracted by the design and the aesthetic of the site that it's going to be eventually. And so they can really just look at the content that is going to be on each site, the structure, the flow, kind of like just like you're going to go through, like, as the user goes to this website, this is our navigation and this is what our menu could be. And then this is the sections that we're working through. And Liz does an amazing job of talking to them about why. You do an incredible job about talking to them of why each section is the way it is, whether it's like your hero, your about, so that they can learn more about you. Then your services is next, because what does the client really want to know? And so, like, backing up why we're structuring it the way we are is key as you're like throughout anything that you're doing, whether it's any of the phases that we've talked through already or any of the phases that we're going to talk through. Explaining yourself every step of the way is vital to your client understanding your perspective, and always relaying things back to the discovery meeting of, you said this, and this is why we did this, and why we're creating the website this way. So that when they do have a pushback, you always are coming ready and prepared to back your decision.
Yes. This is why you do all the upfront work. That's exactly right, Chelsea. Because every step of the process, you are documenting, you are getting approvals, you are, like, every step of the process, they are involved with the decisions. They are part of the process. You are bringing them in. And so that, like, you are keeping yourself from having massive project blow-ups in the middle of something. And so that's why we have built the process that we have, especially for a website and a brand process, because this has happened to us before, where so we will start doing something, and because we at the time hadn't implemented all of these steps into the process, a client would be surprised or drop something in that we were not planning for or something, and it would just blow up the entire project. The reason that we go through this process is so that kind of thing does not happen. And we can say, okay, client, this is approved now. We're going to move into the next step. And so if they change something from the past step, then we can say, okay, that's out of scope. We got approval on that. If you want to change that, that's fine. Yes, and I'll send you an estimate for the change, And so that's why we do it like this, because it honestly has saved our butts so many times. So for the wireframes, this is where all the work that you did for that sitemap from our last episode that we talked about, all that work that we did from the sitemap really comes into fruition. All the notes that you put in for the homepage, having a featured area, having a call to action, having a like Chelsea said, a carousel or whatever it needs to be. This is where all of that stuff plays out, and you start to get some of those visuals where it's laid out. This is where your content strategy really starts to work, and the functionality of the site, you really start to see some of that. And it truly is like a blueprint. It's literally lines on a page that are showing this is going to be a featured area with a video, and it's going to have marketing copy for the header. What we like to do is, let's say you want to have a call to action for a specific spot. We would just draw a box and it says call to action inside the box. So we know that it's going to be some sort of call to action. And then we'll drop in a little button, so we know what kind of call to action it's going to be. But that's how we build out the wireframes, so that we know when we talk with the client, they know what's going to happen in that area. And then once we get to design, our designer knows what they're supposed to be designing for that specific area as well. And the big thing is, like, we're not designing it, but we are building moments and sections of the website that we know need to have specific parts of content and specific functionality. So, for example, if we needed to have like an FAQ section on the website, we would put that in the wireframes. Or if we needed to have a video for a specific part of the website, that would be in the wireframes. So anything that is imagery, content, video, drop downs, whatever it is, we would outline that in the wireframe. And we do that because it helps the client start to understand where things are going to be and how things are going to function on the website without getting distracted by how the website looks. Because we have to understand the flow of the site, how users are going to be going through the site, how they're going to experience the website, and how they're going to get to where they need to get to in the simplest fashion possible. And then it's also going to be about telling that story, telling that narrative, and the content strategy of the website. Are we getting people to where they need to go? Are we telling that story that needs to be told with the customer as the center character, and making sure that people can simply understand the site as quickly as possible? So that's what we're trying to do with the wireframes. And the main thing is not getting distracted by color, fonts, and imagery,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And from the developer side, it's a little bit easier to explain CMS when we're talking about wireframes, and we're like, this is this page, this is this page. And then sometimes, like with services, from development perspective, it's easier to create a services page that is kind of templated. You can autofill different sections. And so explaining that there is one wireframe for this service page, because every service page will follow the same type of flow and hierarchy and structure. And explaining that the explaining starts there. And in the sitemap meeting, to be like, there will be like a service and then service detail page. But even just explaining some of the development is easier to not overwhelm the client just from that wireframe step.
Yeah, it's great. It's super helpful. We do it because we don't build templated websites. Well, I should back up. We don't take other people's websites that are templated. We create custom websites, and we build a client's website that is their own template for them. So it's a custom website that we build, and then we template it out for them only. So it's their own custom template, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we don't use anyone else's template. And so that's why we have to go through all of this up front, because they are getting a custom website. And yes, it does make it more expensive, but it also means that we are not having to retrofit their brand, their content, their messaging into someone else's idea of what a website should look like. No, we are building something that is the exact right fit for who they are and what their vision is for their brand and their digital experience.
Yeah. And to that point, we have 2 rounds of edits for each phase. This includes like the wireframe phase if they have edits. And then the next phase is that homepage design, which is just the homepage design. And that would also have 2 rounds of edits. And so for each phase, we give them a certain round of edits to keep us within scope, to not blow up the project with little edits that just keep flooding in. And I think as creatives, it's easy to not set boundaries and be like, yeah, that's just a small one. That's a one-off one. And then you reach a point where you're like, wow, like I've done a lot of these and it's hard to say no now. But yeah, so that just sets the tone for us. And the wireframes also eliminate the mobile perspective. Like we're looking at the desktop perspective. We're not looking at the mobile perspective yet. And because we want to make sure all the content and all the structure is set before we have to like make it responsive to tablets, to your iPhone, to an Android, the different size of these monitors. And so we're just eliminating all of the extra stuff to make sure that we're defining the direction and strategy well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, all of our websites are responsive, but to do all of this, we design and build stuff desktop, and then we do responsive in the dev phase. That's a good point.
Is there anything else you have to add for that wireframe phase, Liz, before we close out?
No.
Okay. Well, that is just a little bit about our interactive mood board for the website process and our wireframe phase. It can get a little more involved in that, but we won't get too deep into the weeds. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. I don't think all web developers have a wireframe phase, but we do for a reason. It just works for us and it sets us for success. And so if you'd like to add that to your process and you have some questions for us, we're happy to answer any questions. And if you like this podcast, please like, share, follow, send it to a friend. And any feedback, any stories you have from clients along the way, or things, mistakes and successes, wins and losses, we love to hear from you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye. Bye.